Alright, for page 2, we're going to continue on. I've got this quantity down here, squared. So I'm going to square that. Let me see if I can get this a little bit brighter. Auto image back on. There we go. Alright, take this bottom one, square it. So I've got 25x squared z to the 4th. And I want to do that before I start reducing anything. Some of my students like to reduce first. That's not appropriate. Remember, parentheses and exponents come first. So we've got to make sure we adjust at bottom before we attack the problem. 10 divided by 25 is going to give us 2 over 5. I've got 1 more x on top, and I've got 3 more z's on the bottom. So it's going to end just like that. You don't have to write this one if you don't want to. I like to, but it's not necessary. For the negative, there are 2 ways of thought. It's either cross the line, change the sign. Some of you have heard that before, and it's this would make it 1 over r to the 5th. Or if you think about it the way I do, there are negative 5 r's on top. There are no r's on bottom, so there are 5 more r's on the bottom, because negative 5 is 5 less than 0. So either way you want to do it, cross the line, change the sign, or which side has more, both are effective. Looking at number 15, anything to the 0 power is 1, so the entire bottom, because this 0 is attached using the parentheses to that entire quantity down there, everything down there is equal to 1. From here, 6 divided by 1 is 6. There are 6 more y's on the bottom, or you could say cross the line, switch the sign, whichever one you want to do. You'll get 6 over y6. On number 16, you've got 12 divided by 3 is 4. You've got a to the 0 power down here, so that's just 1. This will go away. And then you have 5 more b's on the bottom than you do on the top. Looking at number 17, we're going to take and count how many places. We're going to move that decimal place over. Make sure if it asks for scientific notation, you answer in scientific notation. One of the most dangerous things we can do on the test is something like this. Say 300 this times 10 to the 5th. That's in fact the same number. And we'll ask you the same question. We'll say, will you put this in scientific notation? And you've got to make sure you adjust this number. And you still need to have the same answer, 7.35 times 10 to the 7th. So if you were to do it straight up from this problem right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.35 times 10 to the 7th. This one, we're adjusting it this way, so it's going to be negative 3.19 times 10, man, I missed my 1, 10 to the negative 3. Standard notation, this is with the decimal. I'm going to move it over 4 times. This is a fairly large number, so my number's going to get bigger. I'm going to have 3 zeros. 62,000. This number right here, we're going to take and move it the other way, because negative 3, 10 to the negative 3 is a very small number, so 0, 0, 155, decimal out in front. Start multiplying these together. You multiply the numbers together, it'll be like 9.9 times 10. Add the exponents, just like if I had x5 times x7. This is x12. How we get that? 5 plus 7 is 12. We do the same thing with our exponential values of 10. The only difference between the exponential values of 10 and what we do earlier is in the exponential values of 10, negative numbers are fine for scientific notation. That's the only thing that changes. So we have 9.9, 10 to the first. This one, 6 times 6 is 36. Negative 5 plus 8 is 3. And then we have to adjust 36 to make sure it stays in scientific notation. We made the 36 smaller, so in order to balance, we've got to make the exponential value of 10 larger. 7 divided by 5.6 is 1.25, and then we're subtracting these, so I have negative 6 minus a negative 9, which makes it negative 6 plus 9, so I'll have 10 to the 3rd power, looking at those exponents. This one right here, 24, 1.75, again, subtracting those exponents, this will give us negative 2 minus 4, 10 to the negative 6. Again, that's where that exponent comes from. Last one, 2.2 divided by 5.5 is 0.4. And then, of course, we'll have 10 to the negative 7. Again, 1 minus 8, negative 7. We've got to adjust this value, so we'll have 4 times 10. We made this number bigger, so this number needs to get smaller. And that is page 2. Be very careful with your exponential values on scientific notation.